Okay, turn my mic on. Welcome to our regular meeting, our regular special meeting tonight. It is 6:34 on Thursday, May 23rd. Addie, would you call the roll, please?
Cobb.
Present.
Kuda.
Here.
Larson.
Here.
Maddox.
Here.
Russell. Petrus.
Here.
Posh.
Okay, Davida Russell is at a conference. So we're here to look at two pieces of legislation. And let's see.
Three.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It is three pieces of legislation, thank you. And they're kind of came to us last minute, but these are things we really need to get to today. So Addie, why don't you read the first?
Sure. I have ordinance number 091-2024 on first reading. An ordinance amending section 1 of ordinance number 038-2023 wage and salary ordinance to adjust the pay scales and modify job titles of certain seasonal positions within the Department of Public Parks and Recreation, and declaring the necessity that this legislation become immediately effective as an emergency measure, introduced by Mayor Sarin. You will notice I did print out copies for you all. There was a slight change from the copy that was sent out in the email.
So moved.
Okay, so since, we didn't really have a committee of the whole discussion on this, please feel free to weigh in. Anybody, any discussion?
Mr. President?
Yes.
Is it possible for Director Ledbetter maybe just to provide an overview?
That would be.
Or is this only time for council member comments?
No. We can do that unless we would. Okay.
Essentially, as it relates to the lifeguards, I think you all know that they are on the bottom of the lifeguard totem pole in terms of pay across our region, really. And so this request is to, bring them up to speed and hopefully so we don't lose any guards to any of our competition.
Yes.
Are these salary levels or hourly wage levels a product of the survey that we did, that the city did, the salary survey? Or how did you scope it out for competitors?
Not really. That survey is not complete yet. So, I just kind of looked at what some other cities were paying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that means you feel this is competitive?
Absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead, Councilman Cobb.
Are these going to fall within our budget, or will we need to make an adjustment at the end of the year?
I believe this is going to fall within the budget.
Should we ask our finance director?
The lifeguard as well. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the lifeguards will, but how about the other positions where we're doing a salary adjustment?
For King Park, we're going to do a budget adjustment because the King Park is basically moving it from 1099 to regular seasonal. So there will be a budget adjustment on June 3rd, moving 45,000 from the 1099 line to the salaries line. So it will be a budget transfer. But the other seasonal for the pool, we increased the budget. We just didn't increase the ordinance wages.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Do we need to do a roll call vote on?
You don't.
Oh, please. Okay,
I
please.
have a quick statement. I very much support this, especially for the lifeguards, but I have to abstain because I have a conflict of interest on this one.
Okay. Thank you. And what is that? Do we have to state what the conflict is? When some
disclose, what it is, and so then he doesn't need to vote unless somebody questions it.
Oh, I see. Do you
Well, I
want?
can state it. My wife is the one of the instructors, what do they call it? The deep water aerobics instructors. Not sure she actually gets paid for the work. She did it one time, but
And is that one of the
it's listed as one of the positions.
Okay. And Mr. President, if I might, I just was going to mention that in addition to the changes that result from sort of recategorizing certain functions from being performed by independent contractors as 1099 receiving vendors to seasonal employees, there are some other compensation adjustments within the Kane Park bracket on here, just for the record.
Very good. And I'm sorry, could we vote by?
You need 5 votes. You do not need a roll call.
Okay.
5 is so that it could take effect immediately.
Got it. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes.
Are you going to get the, you need to get the abstain?
Oh, sorry, and we do have an abstention.
Okay, I think that's been said.
Okay, and the motion does pass.
Yes.
So Addie, go ahead and read the next one.
Next, I have resolution number 092-2024 on first reading. A resolution authorizing an agreement with Ron Marhofer Chevrolet, Inc. for the purchase of 4 used 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EVs for the Department of Planning and Development, waiving competitive bidding and declaring the necessity that this legislation become immediately effective as an emergency measure, introduced by Mayor Sarin.
All right, do we have a second?
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Do we have any discussion? Please, Councilwoman.
It looks like there's a budget item for this particular expenditure on the capital, the request, departmental request from the planning department for $175,000 for 5 electric hybrid vehicles for planning. Is that the particular budget item that we're dealing with? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Questions? My question is, my understanding there was a previous plan. What was that again?
So the plan was a bit interrupted by the interruptions in the production of this particular model.
Well, they discontinued it.
They discontinued and then reintroduced it, but the model itself is very useful, very reliable, and we wanted to stick with American-made, union-made cars. And this was a car that we had gotten success with, and the experience of the people using them was positive. So what we chose to do when this opportunity came up to purchase more, once we had sourced them, since the need is there in planning, we wanted to, make use of the money that we budgeted to purchase the cars. It's just the time frame. It's not, at least to my knowledge, it's not a controversial purchase. It's just the time frame for when these cars are available has been a bit troubling or troublesome lately. So when they became available, we wanted to jump on them.
And was it the same number of vehicles? Was it 4?
Now that I don't remember the number. I know we're trying to get. Yeah, so we were sort of being a bit more gradual, but we're getting them for a lot less money per piece. So our expectation is that we can jump on the ones that are available and actually complete the process of filling out the new equipment for the housing inspector, zoning inspector, the new chief building officer, and that kind of thing.
Great, I'm glad you found these. Councilman Maddox?
No, I just want to commend the city staff for finding these. I know it's been difficult in terms of these fleets across a lot of municipalities, so it's great that you were able to find them, let alone 6. I know we're talking about the 4 in this piece of legislation, but that's just awesome work. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments, questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
Next, I have resolution number 093-2024 on first reading. A resolution authorizing an agreement with Lavery Automotive Sales and Service LLC for the purchase of 2 used 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EVs for the Department of Planning and Development, waiving competitive bidding and declaring the necessity that this legislation become immediately effective as an emergency measure, introduced by Mayor Sarin.
So moved.
Second. Oh, go ahead. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion passes.
Thank you, Council.
I believe that wraps up our agenda for today. So this meeting is adjourned at 6:42.